If you would like to support our channel, our Patreon and merch store is in the descriptions below. Now, Drop is a 2025 horror thriller that tells the story of a woman who's on a date with a guy she met on the app, starts receiving messages that she must kill him or else her son and sister will die.
Toby, no!
And here are 5 reasons you should watch this movie. Reason number 1, Violet.
Yahtzee.
Now, Violet Gates, a trauma therapist, is back on the dating scene, but after getting over a terrible relationship, she is paired with a guy named Henry. And wanting to impress her, Henry invites her to dine at an expensive restaurant, and everything seems to be going well until Violet starts receiving digi-drops. These are basically airdrop texts that are a mix of memes and random messages. Now, at first, everything is playful. Perhaps they could even be from an admirer. But the drops quickly become more sinister when Violet receives footage that an armed assassin is in her house, and that unless she do exactly as the digi-drops demand, both her son and sister will meet a grisly end. Reason number 2, Henry.
I don't know if you'd ever agree to meet. I can't imagine all these creeps you must come across.
Now, Henry Campbell is a freelance photographer and Violet's match on their dating app. Henry is impressed that Violet, unlike many people on the app, seems genuine and is willing to be the real her, as detailed in her profile. But when Violet starts becoming preoccupied with her cell phone, at first Henry believes perhaps she's just having jitters because she's worried about her son being left at home. But then, the more demanding the texts become, Henry starts to suspect that Violet is a liar, and their romantic blissful evening soon turns into a date night from hell.
No. No, I can't.
Reason number 3, Blake. Now, the connective tissue between Henry and Violet is Blake, Violet's ex-husband. You see, Blake was both emotionally and physically abusive to Violet, but not only that, he was seconds away from killing her son, Toby, as an infant. But having a greater moment of clarity, Blake turned the gun on himself and blew his brains out. Now, over the years, many would speculate how Blake died, some even believing that Violet killed him to protect their son. But the scars of their relationship will resurface when Violet is thrust into action to save both her son and her sister. Reason number 4, the texter.
How's your salad?
Now, for the sake of explanation, the person sending the digi-drops will be known as the texter. This person's entire motivation for forcing Violet to kill Henry is that Henry is a photographer for the city's mayor. And in doing so, Henry has physical evidence on his camera of embezzlement by the mayor. Henry has been prepared to testify against the mayor in court. With Henry being a key witness, this person, the texter, wants Henry dead. And to keep fingers from being pointed at the mayor's office and his staff, Violet is paired with Henry on his dating app, and his entire evening has been orchestrated by the texter. But if Violet tells Henry what's going on, Toby and Jen dies. If Violet tries to warn the cops, Toby and Jen dies. If Violet does anything to tip off anyone, or even if she tries to get cute and outsmart the texter, Toby and Jen dies. In case Violet doesn't think this matter isn't being taken seriously, the texter has a masked man with a gun inside her house, and he's willing to kill both Jen and Toby with the push of a button. Reason number 5, the assassin. Now, the assassin is an armed killer who's been inside of the home of Violet during her date with Henry. Now, the assassin is ready to shoot both Violet's sister Jen and her young son Toby at the instructions of the texter. So there's no way out of this scenario. If Violet tries to leave and stop the assassin, the texter, who has eyes on her everywhere she goes, makes a call and informs the assassin to kill Jen and Toby. So Violet's only way out of this is to find the identity of the texter and put a stop to that person. But even that will be hard to navigate, as she must do this without the texter knowing what she's up to. So her every move must be calculated and precise, because if not, then both Toby and Jen dies. In the end, Drop was a wild ride. It was quite exhilarating because this movie's goal is to stop an invisible killer who knows your every move. With so much at stake, the mere possibility of trying to find their identity is against their rules that could end the life of your family. So yeah, how can one navigate a no-win situation? How can you begin to survive a night that's been planned for you with the entire deck stacked against you? Now, I honestly can see Drop being a franchise type of movie. It's like Mission Impossible of the horror genre. What makes this work is the no-win situations, and the fun of this sort of film is seeing how the person who's put in a no-win situation prevails or potentially fails. So this movie has all sorts of sequel possibility, but honestly, that's how Christopher Landon movies tend to go. And this brand of horror is something I can watch any day of the week. And yes, I do recommend this title. And until next time, when CEDtalks horror.